Dear friends of St. Michael Parish, I'm trying to think back to when I was a kid. I was curious and playful, and sometimes I fibbed. So some of the earliest sins were fibs. So now I'm going to challenge you to believe me when I say that I lived in Malawi, Africa when I was a little kid. It's true, I did. When I got back from Malawi, I had this scar on my arm here. If you're up real close, you might be able to see it. And the kids would ask me with big wide eyes, "What happened to your arm?" And I would say, "Well, I lived in Africa. And I got bit by a snake." Well, it was really a shot to prevent tuberculosis. But it kind of felt like a snake bite. So in all seriousness, have you ever been bitten? By sharp comments, misunderstandings, misrepresentation of your true intentions, guilt, anxiety, or uncertainty? See, here's the reality. Sin crawls around on its stomach, waiting for unsuspecting victims to be bitten. This is vividly represented in our first reading about the Israelites being bitten in the desert of life. Interestingly enough, God doesn't stomp on or remove the snakes. Instead, he asked Moses to lift up a bronze serpent for all to see their participation in sin and potential for salvation, such that whoever simply looks up is healed. So here are three related truths for us to remember today. 1, look up when shame drags you down. 2, look up when bitten. 3, look up for salvation. First, look up when shame drags you down. Maybe something happened last week, or perhaps last year. Maybe everybody knows, or perhaps nobody knows. To which, nonetheless, the slithering serpent often whispers the lie that God is getting tired of you. Or even that your friends must be sick of hearing about your problems. This is when it's time to announce the truth to all who have ears to hear. That God did not send his Son to condemn the world, but to save it. This is the time to look up to him on the cross. You see, you may feel you're unworthy. But he says, you are worth dying for. Are you willing to believe this for yourself? Are you willing to convey this to someone else who needs to hear it? Second, look up when bitten. When stress hits, words hurt, and something or someone wounds you, know in advance that your patience may be worn thin, much like the Israelites of old. That you may be tempted to ignore and or numb the pain or lash out as a result. Instead, simply look up. Don't stare at the wound. Don't spread the poison by repeating the pain or rehearsing the happenings. But look up to the cross for healing and wholeness. Third, let's look up for salvation. The news this past week, last week, and all the weeks before will always give us reasons to look down, to breed fear, regret, or resentment, to compare, despair, and contempt. But the cross stands tall, even when everything else seems to be falling around us. If and when life's burdens weigh you down, look up to the source of our salvation, who is memorialized and made known through the cross in the Eucharistic resurrection of Jesus Christ, who longs to give himself to us in his very real presence, not only yesterday, not only tomorrow, but today. So how have you been bitten most recently? And are you willing to bring it to the cross? To look up and to see that God's love for us is infinitely greater than whatever present problem of pain you, me, or any of our loved ones may be experiencing. Let us look up, be healed, and live fully here and now, as well as for all time, space, eternity, and beyond.